In this video, we'll learn how analysts use pivot tables in Excel to quickly summarize and explore data. Pivot table allows us to answer questions like which product sells the most or which outlet performs the best. And the best part is we can do this without writing complex formulas. Before creating a pivot table, the dataset needs to be structured properly. Sometimes data is stored in a wide format like this, where each product appears as a separate column and there are totals at the side and the bottom. This format can work for reports, but it is not ideal for analysis or pivot table. Instead, analysts prefer a tabular format where each row represents a single record. So in this example, there are 95 milk tea sold at Tampines Mall on 1st of January 2026. And each column represents a field. Now this structure makes it much easier to summarize and analyze the data. Before creating the pivot table, it is good practice to convert the dataset into an Excel table. This ensures that if rows are added later, the pivot table will still capture the updated data. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click into the dataset and go to Insert Table and click OK. So now I've converted the dataset into an Excel table. I can name the table as Sales Table, like this. I can now also insert the pivot table by clicking on Insert Pivot Table and putting the pivot table on an existing worksheet and click OK. So now with this, I have the fields of the pivot table available to me here. And my initial analysis could be that I would like to analyze from an outlet perspective. So I drag outlet to rows and quantity to values. This gives me a summary of the quantity of my product sold for Ang Mo Kio Hub and Tampines Mall. In a pivot table, the rows group the data while the values perform the calculations. I can also remove the outlet now by just clicking and dragging it out and replacing it with products. So we're just going to product and just pulling it into the rows column. And you can see here that I have the quantity of the orders of the products by quantity. I can then sort this from largest to smallest. And I know immediately that milk tea is my best-selling product. We can also compare multiple categories at once. So for example, we may want to compare the products across different outlets. So I can go to here and pull in outlets and put it into columns. And now I have the multiple outlets and the products. I can also understand the contribution to the total by just clicking into one of the cells and right-click, show values as percentage of column. This allows me to see the contribution of each product to their various outlets. Now I'm going to format this the number a bit, so let's make it neater. So I'm going to change the number format to 0 decimal places. That would be sufficient for my analysis. And I'm going to highlight which are the highest performing products. So for in this case, here I can select milk tea is green. And for Tampines Mall, interestingly, jasmine green tea is green, but for the total, milk tea is still green. So you can see here that with this, it's very obvious now which are my highest selling product for each outlet. Pivot tables allows us to summarize large data sets quickly and explore the data from different perspectives. We can compare categories across rows and columns, identify patterns and top performers, and most importantly, do all of these without writing complex formulas. This is why pivot tables are one of the most important tools every analyst should know. They help us explore data quickly before building dashboards or reports.